Hello, everybody. Welcome to our pre-hurricane party. Rod and I are both getting the outer bands of Hurricane Idalia right now.
Yeah. A hurricane's coming up.
It is. It's his first hurricane, but he's excited because he's out of school. So I am joined. You do get to watch the hurricane. I am joined by my co-host Rod sitting next to me, and both of these guys have not been on. We have Cernox Connection and Chris the New Jersey Picker. So I'm going to make both of them big and let them introduce themselves, and then we'll get to your questions. Get them in early. We had a ton last week, so make sure you guys get them in early. And here is Chris.
Oh, hey. Obviously from New Jersey. I've been saying a long time that I'm a part-time reseller, but I'm actually reconsidering that because I do this full-time. I have a full-time job as well, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, but I do this full-time as well. I have so much to do with the eBay store, with my YouTube channel. It's crazy how much work goes into it when you start growing this and it keeps going and going. So I am a full-time reseller as well as having a full-time job. So doubled up on that. So yeah, on YouTube, and been doing reselling for about 4 years now.
Perfect. Here's Cernox. You're muted.
You're muted.
Such a rookie mistake. I was feeding my dog some chips and they were crunching loud. So Chris from Cernox Connection, one member of the Reseller Information Network. I've been reselling for my eBay store goes all the way back to 2001. So I'm kind of like, but full-time, probably 5.5 years. But I've been reselling in and out, for over 20 years. I specialize in hats, shoes, vintage shirts, and then a lot of stuff just makes me money, So I have like the best thrift store in the continental United States, I think. So I buy cheap and I sell high. So yeah. So
that's the name of the game. Right? Whoa! I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going click happy here. Apparently, are you getting the dog? Or are you talking about Rod's dog? Which dog are you asking about? Let us know.
Probably yours. Probably the one that you found on the road.
Yeah, I think she's about a 4-month-old pit, and she was almost getting hit by a car in front of my house yesterday. So we picked her up, and she's in our house for the storm, and hopefully my husband's best friend's going to take her, but if not, mine. She is doing good. She's sleeping in my 21-year-old's room, and we haven't introduced her to our dogs because I'm hoping she's not here long. And that's like a whole process. So hopefully after the hurricane, she will move out. But if anybody is interested in her and my husband's best friend doesn't take her, please tell me because I want her to go to a good home. There's too much dog fighting around here that I will not just post her and let anybody take her. Too much of that. So, first question by Stitcher. Have you ever raised the price on your items with permanent watchers to stimulate them to buy, and has that worked?
Well, considering I'm in the hot seat, I'm going to go first, and I'm going to say I've never done that I can recall. I've fluctuated prices before based on how the market's going, but I've never done it based on just people watching it to get them to buy.
Other way. I know it's so confusing.
So I've taken stuff down. Like if I had a bunch of watchers, I would take it down, relist it, and then list it for a higher price. Because sometimes I'm like, there's a few things that I'm like, wow, this got traction really, really fast. Let me recomp it. Let me think about it again. Because I always have a thing saying you can always go higher, but you can't. You can always go lower, but you can't go higher. So it's like, yeah, let me put this up for a little bit higher. So
I would say I'm with Cernox on this one because I don't adjust. If I have watchers on and stuff that people, I call them looky-loos. They've been sitting up there for a while. I got a bunch of people watch it. They haven't bought on it yet. If the market changes, especially if I'm dealing like with comic books, if a trailer, like news comes out or a trailer comes out, the market can shoot up, 100%, 500% within a week, based on news dropping. So what I'll do is I will end the auction and relist it because it looks like a fresh new listing, and people are going to be searching for that high item at that point in time. So I get more success ending the item and then relisting at a higher price.
So I've only done this with a couple of items ever, and it was when, like Cernok said, when I was ending and selling a similar. I had a pottery piece. I had it at like $40. It was an amazing piece. It hadn't sold. I bumped it up to $200 when I relisted it, and it sold in like 3 days. And I had it for 2.5 years at $50. Nobody got it. Raise it to $200. I think I took an offer $150. And yeah, absolutely crazy. But that's few and far between. Typically, I agree. You can go down, but it's very, very hard to go up, especially if people are watching it. Like in that case, I ended it so they weren't still watching it, and it probably wasn't a watcher. They would have been like, what the hell? It was just $40 last week. So yeah, not too much. Quirky Squirrel, we are on for tonight, and we are in the line of the hurricane. It's actually not bad right now. I don't even think it's going to rain most of the time I'm on. We're not starting to get bad parts until 4 a.m. So it's going to be early morning for us. And we actually the last update at 8 p.m. moved out of the cone. That was the first time throughout this whole thing. By out, I mean by yay much, but we'll take it. We're happy not to be in it.
Yeah.
And we are staying safe. We are not under mandatory evacuation, or I would leave, as hard as it would be with our zoo, but we are not under mandatory evacuation.
So unfortunately, my wife got an email last night at 10:30, and she got called in. So my wife works as an RN at a hospital. So yeah, you're laughing because you know that feeling, Kat. But
I do.
She got called. My wife got called in. I got an email, woke up at 5 o'clock this morning saying that she had to come to work and pack bags. And then when she got to work, she found out that she's not allowed to leave probably Thursday. So she literally has to sleep at the hospital for the next 48 hours just for the fact that they don't want people traveling in and out. And the roads, people, if we do get whacked with that hurricane, people can't travel. So, and then they have a shift A and a shift B. So the shift B will come and relieve them maybe on Thursday. We'll see.
Yeah, it's during the hurricane or after. So the last one that hit this area, I was still a nurse, and I was team A, and I was at the hospital, and we could not leave. And you don't know when your relief's going to come. The sucky thing where I was at, they didn't even have sleeping arrangements for us. So people were sleeping in dialysis chairs. By people, I mean nurses. Luckily, I had a good friend who had an air mattress, and I bunked with her. And actually, it was before I had Dalton. Actually, it was a year before I had Dalton. We know you're right there. And
Totally you guys.
Okay,
Like the video if you could.
listen to him. Okay, tell him again.
Like mom's videos.
Like mom's videos. Thank you, sir.
If you
He watches a little bit of YouTube, if you can't tell. Okay, get down. I love you. So yeah, it's hard to decide, do you want to be away from your family during it, or when it's after and you're cleaning up, do you want to be away? So I was team A last time, and I was stuck there too.
So, do you know what the best part of those, Kat? When the cat's away and the mice will play, so I got all my eBay stuff over the living room. I get it all laid out on the kitchen table, so she can't come home and yell at me and tell me to get it out of there. So I'm free to play.
They can cancel that, so they can cancel that. I have seen them cancel it and let people go. Then you're going to be busted, buddy.
Yeah.
Lenny wants to know if List Perfectly is going to start delisting listings. I'll just answer that and say, Rod, didn't they say within the next 30 days they announced at FlipCon, I think?
When I was at FlipCon a couple of weeks ago, they said next 45 days. So it should be coming. They were starting to beta test it when we were in Arizona speaking at the List Perfect event. But I would say probably sometime September, maybe early October, but it should be soon, within the next month. So I would say.
Perfect. Accidental Time Traveler Maggie, who wants me to deliver the dog to Nevada, and I wish it was closer, and I would. But we might work. If Greg does not take the dog, we will figure something out. Is there a price point on an item such as gold and tanzanite where you would have something authenticated. I think you could really answer that for anything. Like, is there any price point if you think something's worth a certain amount that you would have it authenticated? She might mean bracelet, by the way. She might mean bracelet.
Yeah, I don't know about jewelry. That's your category, Kat. But yeah, I mean, like, I think if you're gonna increase the value by having it authenticated, it's something you definitely should look at. I know Rod's a big proponent of authenticating. I've only just started dabbling in it myself, and I'm looking at if I'm going to take an item that might be worth $50 not authenticated, and I can make it worth $150 or $200 authenticated. Paying that authentication price might make sense, but if you're only going to make it from $50 to $75, you're not even going to cover the authentication price, so it doesn't really seem to be worth it in those kind of instances. You really have to do your homework and your research on that before you dive into the authentication process.
Yeah, I agree with Chris. I do a lot of authentication on shoes, like sneakers and stuff like that, before I list them on eBay, because I don't want, to sell a pair of shoes, get sent to eBay authentication, and then go, So I use a app called Check that works really, really well with high-end sneakers. And so yeah, I usually get that authenticated. Now, jewelry, I don't mess with jewelry, so I've never done that. I've gotten a few other things authenticated, like some clothing items, and like some purses before.
How much does Check charge you, Sir Knock, per pair of shoes?
So, I mean, it's less than it's like $2-3.
Yeah.
You can
okay.
Yeah. So
you can buy bulk credits too, can't you?
Yeah, you buy bulk credits, and then it's basically Check works how long you want to wait. Do you want to have an answer in the next 30 minutes? Do you want to wait 2 hours, or do you want to wait 4 to 6 hours for your answer? So you can get away with if it's not an important pair that you need to get checked out right now. I mean, you can use one credit, and that's I think it's like $1.50. If you buy it just the credit by itself. So it's not expensive at all for shoes.
Yeah, I would say when it comes to anything that's highly faked. So if you're dealing with sports cards, you're dealing with shoes, you're dealing with gold, silver, you're dealing with
purses,
yeah, stuff along those lines. It's worth it if it increases the value, and if you think it may jeopardize your account. Sometimes I would take less money to get something authenticated, so not the risk of jeopardizing my account. Even getting something authenticated still can put your account at risk, but you're going to help minimize those risks along the way. So I think it is well worth it through the process, especially when you are dealing with certain collectibles. It's usually pretty cheap to get stuff authenticated, and and going to eBay does have certain programs such as for purses, sports cards, and shoes now, where they will automatically authenticate it for you, but still you still want to get popped and get a red flag on your account. So I always say it's worth the extra step to protect yourself.
Yeah, and with jewelry, I would say you could find jewelry groups that specialize in that and post it for them. So she said it. So I'm going to say this, Maggie, as far as jewelry, and people have told me this about my purses. So unless you bought it directly from the store, and if you did, there's no reason to have it authenticated because it's authentic and you have that provenance, and you can tell them, I went to the store, I went in, I bought this, I paid for it. Mm-hmm. So if that's the case, you don't need to. However, I have been kind of chastised because I'm like, no, it was a high-end estate sale. And they're like, those people buy fakes too,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You definitely, if you went in and bought it, there's no need to, because you have the provenance, you went to the store, you purchased it. If that's not the case and you bought it in an estate sale or something like that, then if it's jewelry, I don't know of a particular site, maybe somebody in the chat does, but I would go to a jewelry. Yeah, she said she did buy. So there's no need to authenticate. 100% it's authentic. I wouldn't authenticate it. Look at, hi, Lisette. Lisette sent a $5 super sticker and said, hello, Dalton. She said, she told you to stop growing so fast and said, happy Tuesday. I was surprised. I actually remembered to upload the Rod super chat, and I have it here. So I'm going to get Rod. Yeah, here we go.
Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Until next time.
There's rods. I've been
Yes.
saying I was going to upload it for like 6 weeks now. So I finally remembered in the
Good
middle.
old Gino. Gino makes all those.
Gino Spines makes all of them for us. So Gino, thank you. And Miss Lisette, thank you. I know he's getting a lot taller. A lot of his shirts are looking like crop tops all of a sudden. I'm like, oh, well, I think we got to buy new shirts. He got a growth spurt.
I want to say too, guys, give Lisette a follow on Instagram and on YouTube. She is probably one of the biggest supporters of everybody in the community. She's awesome. Like, she will join your live chats. She'll join, and she goes out of her way to support everyone. So give her some months of support as well.
Yeah, she is absolutely amazing. I met her at the Prison to Profit convention where I met Rod, actually.
Yep.
All right. Miss Laura wants to know how shipping's handled on Etsy, Mercari, Posh. And she also wants to know what pirate ship is. So she's only on eBay, and she's asking because she's thinking about cross-posting and going to the other platforms.
So I don't
You
use pirate ship.
Always.
Yeah, I was reading the question. I don't use pirate ship. I actually,
Okay.
when I first started going, I know everyone's gonna be like, what? I use stamps.com. I've been using it since I started, and I like the service. And since I'm older, I know I don't look older, but I'm older. I'm just, I refuse to learn something new. But I hear everyone loves pirate ship. So I really can't answer pirate shipping on there. But on Mercari, they do it for you. Poshmark, because I just started Mercari and Poshmark recently, and Poshmark is great. Actually, they literally, once someone buys something, they send you an email with the label right in it for you. You don't have to do anything, which is fantastic. Unlike eBay, where you have to go in there and have an account and then pay for shipping yourself. And if you offer free shipping, which I don't recommend, then you're going to have to factor that into the cost of your items as well. So, but if Cernok knows anything about pirate ship, he can definitely speak on that.
Yeah, I mean, pirate ship is basically you're using what pirate ship is that they do so much volume that they can pass on the savings to their customers. And it's yes, you can find lower prices on there. Sometimes it just depends on what level you are on eBay. With Poshmark, like Chris said, it just gives you the label. Boom, you slap it on there. Everything's priority mail. So you just anything you can just stick in a priority box. Get the free boxes from the post office, stick it in there. That's why a lot of people like Poshmark. Now Mercari and Etsy both work kind of like you can use their labels or your own labels. So it's like you have to decide what you want to do. And I know a lot of these, across the board, a lot of the labels that they like, their own labels, like your Poshmark label, your Mercari label, are usually a little bit more expensive to use for the customer buying your stuff. But I mean, I do Grailed, and Grailed has just gone over to those kind of shipping labels, and I don't care. If you want the item, pay for the shipping, and I'm gonna ship it out. That's what business I'm in. If you want a little lower cost, send me an offer. So
I'm gonna keep it very simple. Keep it simple, keep it stupid is one of my biggest things when it comes to a lot of new resellers, especially if you're gonna start breaking into new platforms. Just have the buyer pay shipping across the board, and then you don't even have to worry about it. So all you have to do is just hit the button, just put the weight in, hit the button, and when you go to ship it, just like you do on eBay, it's automatically going to print off a label, and you just got to mail it out.
Yep.
The cool thing about Poshmark is that everything's shipped priority mail. Doesn't matter what it is, though. It makes it super simple because you know exactly what package is going to go to. But I mean, that's normally what I do on those other platforms, because honestly, you're probably going to sell a fraction of what you do on eBay on those other platforms, majority of the time. Not always, majority of the time, depending on what you're currently selling. And because eBay is going to be the biggest platform, is going to have the most people on there for you. But that's what I cross this with list perfectly on Mercari and Poshmark, and I just allow the buyer to pay shipping. The buyer pays a little bit more shipping on those platforms, but at the end of the day, it just saves me time. I don't have to worry about it. When it comes to pirate ship, I love pirate ship. You can actually import your eBay list, your eBay orders, and other platform orders actually into that if you wanted to. You actually get a cheaper cubic shipping rate through pirate ship. But or if anyone ever buys anything from your pirate ship is great to use, like on Instagram, Facebook. You sell anything, It's a great platform to go through and ship items on there. I use it for all my private shipping stuff, but I just ship through the eBay platform normally, in the platform that actually the buyer actually buys from.
Yeah, so I'm gonna like echo what everybody said. I just use what the platform shipping and the buyer pays. They will on Poshmark, Mercari, they will email you the label and you just print it out. It's super easy. There's no scan form, which kind of annoys my post office when I have a lot of sales on the other platforms. But Etsy, you have to put in the weight and then you print the label. And with any of them, eBay included, you could do pirate ship, but I agree with Cernok. My customer's paying. I'm putting it in. It's easier for me. It's more streamlined for me. I'm not going to go over to pirate ship, except like Rod said, like today I shipped out stuff to Katie Reed's, and oh my gosh, was it absolutely... It was a nightmare because I decided to ship the day a hurricane's coming, and it took 6 places to find somewhere to take UPS. So, yeah. But I just checked and it's tracking, and I ship that on Pirate Ship. But other than like, and I do my giveaways we do here through Pirate Ship, but on the platforms I use all of their labels just because it's easier.
So I'll give you one more thing that about Pirate Ship I forgot about. So if you list, like, for example, if I have a magazine that I can ship it media mail, but I want to put it in a different category on eBay, such as I want to put it in the slot car category. Well, eBay will now allow you in the shipping to ship anything media mail that's in that specific category. So when I have orders like that, because I get more traction putting it in that category than I would in, say, a book category. So what I would do is I'll actually put that book in the slot car category. I'll go with the Pirate Ship, import the Pirate Ship to ship it media mail, because on eBay, they will not allow you to ship something media mail that's not in a media mail category. Mm-hmm. So that's a good tip for that. Yeah,
for sure. Karen wants to know, she said everyone used to be talking about bolos like Glassy Babies, Pearl Snap, Wrangler shirts, but she doesn't hear anyone mention them anymore. What are some bolos that were in the past that you wouldn't buy now?
It's a great question. I will say this, though, about Pearl Snap Wrangler shirts. I've been buying them all summer, and they are still selling extremely well for me. So definitely keep buying those Pearl Snaps when you find them, because they're gold. But, like, I mean, don't buy Beanie Babies. Not a good thing. Other than that, like, geez, I can't think of anything else to say. You know, Vera Bradley, I know a couple of years ago, everyone was like, buy Vera Bradley. Now it's like, you know, buy Vera Bradley if you can find it super cheap and don't expect to get a ton of money for it. There's some pieces out there that are great. Precious Moments used to be one that people were like all the time, buy Precious Moments. Now don't buy Precious Moments at all, because with a rare exception of a couple here and there, there's not too many that are going to get you a ton of money. Although I will say, since I do sell everything and I buy everything, I have bought in the past year a Precious Moments lot. I bought them for 50 cents a piece, and I'm selling them for between $15 to $20. And for me, I don't mind selling something long tail like that. And, you know, it's a good flip. 50 cents into 15 is perfect for me. Some people it might not be, though. So, you know, but for any other bolos out there that people were talking about, I can't really think of too many right now. Maybe Cernok, you have any?
There's one comes to mind because I told a fellow the other day, I go, bro, 3 years ago, I'd be picking up that shirt for $15. Now, I'm going to even pick it up for $5. Tommy Hilfiger, vintage Tommy Hilfiger has nosedived, has crashed and burned. Some of the sickest pieces that we were selling for $100, $200 are going for $40 now. It's like the demand for it. I feel that you'll always have Tommy lovers out there, but Tommy Hilfiger has really, really taken a nosedive from what I've seen from some of the high-end pieces. And then one thing that I attribute to myself ruining, John Deere trucker hats. John Deere trucker hats used to kill for me. The all over mesh used to be easy $80 to $100. People are giving away now. I've seen them go as low as $25, $30. So, you know, I got everyone excited about trucker hats, and then I flooded my own market.
That happens.
Cernok, you're really breaking up there a little bit, buddy.
Am I?
Yeah. Yeah, you're really in and out. Now you're frozen.
Yeah.
Really?
You might want to log out, come back in.
All right, let me log out and come back in. All right.
So one thing he did mention about Tommy Hilfiger. So I actually used to pick up a lot of Tommy Hilfiger stuff back in the day, but now I mean, some of the vintage stuff does still sell well, but I'm a lot more selective with it. Also, too, Tommy Bahama shirts. A couple of years ago, I was selling those like hotcakes. So now I'm more selective with the Tommy Bahama shirts, or when I do buy them, I'll sell them in same size lots. That's just something that hasn't, for me personally, just, really slowed down over the years. And then he also Cernock mentioned about John Deere hats, and that got me thinking. I was like, I actually have a bunch of John Deere hats in my store that haven't sold. So yeah, probably that too. So.
Oh, he's back. I see you. Hold on. He's back. He's here twice, but I got him.
1 2 1 2. Good. We're
Yeah.
good now?
Yeah, you're better.
I think we have a massive storm moving in too, like a big thunderstorm coming in.
You're in what? You're Virginia, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm in the eastern panhandle of West Virginia.
Okay.
Basically, Virginia or Maryland, whatever. Like, I'm in the little thumb. So.
Yeah, it's perfect now. You're good.
What about you, Kat?
The only thing I've noticed, like, what did I just do? I noticed with some of the like higher dollar ornaments, there aren't as many when I did my last research video as I did a year ago. So I think a lot of that might be kind of dipping a little. It might come back as far as some of the bigger name brand stuff. If you get the right one of any category, though, I feel like it will sell. I feel like there are still bolos in every single category. They just might change. So I would recommend looking them up. I don't pick up a ton of Yadro anymore. I used to pick up Yadro and sold some as high as like 2,000, but there are very, very few pieces that will sell and sell well. So that's one thing I don't really look for as much anymore. Karen has another question about Whatnot. When you set up a show on Whatnot and you have to pick between priority versus flat rate for over £1, can you explain that choice?
So I have sold on Whatnot before, but I just don't have the time in my life right now to keep selling on it. So I haven't sold in probably 2.5 months. And I think that's when the shipping change came through. I know Rod will probably be the best person to answer this, or Kat, because they do a lot of Whatnots. I'm not sure if you do any Whatnots, Cernock.
Yeah, I usually do light items, so I don't go over £1. So Rob.
So when it comes to like, depending what type of items you're selling, because when they do flat rate, I think the flat rate's £5, isn't it? It's like a £5 flat rate.
I actually just changed mine. I've been doing max shipping of $8.35 because that's what Whatnot charges for the flat rate. So we just ordered. I normally am not a flat rate box user, but we are going to start using them for Whatnot. So I got small, medium, and large because Whatnot, you just turn on that you're using a flat rate box. And I think for us, anytime we go over £1, we're going to do flat rate. And that makes it for the buyers, which we do sell jewelry, which is like 1 to 2 ounces a piece, but people will buy 20 pieces. So this way their shipping maxes out at $8.35 instead of they might have paid like, $12 or something before. We just didn't have the supplies. I didn't have the supplies here except for padded envelopes, which isn't the best to protect jewelry. So I actually, like 2 days ago, I just ordered like hundreds of all the sizes of flat rate boxes. I'm excited about it on Whatnot because it'll save my customers money. So you can change it though from priority to flat rate when you're actually shipping. There's like a little ticker and you can change it to a flat rate box, even if you don't choose that at the beginning of your show too. Just FYI.
If you guys have any questions about vintage shirts or hats, that's what pretty much Cernock specializes in, repairing hats. So get those questions out. Also, about selling shoes, Harley Davidson shirts, since you're the king of Harley shirts. But,
my phone is going crazy. Look at this.
Yeah, tornado watch.
Tornado watch. It's not a warning, or we'd be acting a little different. It's a watch.
Are you going to do your Whatnot tomorrow night? because of the hurricane?
I right now am planning on not having power for 5 to 7 days after 4 a.m. this morning.
So I have mine.
Now, when I say planning, I don't know what the hell I'm going to do about it. I just don't think I'll have power. But if Brad's aunt has power that lives 5 miles down the road, I will go down there and I will do a show. Yeah.
I have my big Disney show tomorrow night at 7:30, and I'm like,
oh yeah,
what am I going to do? So I may do the very first Whatnot from outside the hurricane. I mean, why not, right? There you go.
If I have power, I will be on Whatnot. That's
I
all.
can be Florida man. I'll just go outside in a USA bathing suit and just with a big flag and just do Whatnot tomorrow night.
Did you see? Like, I love OMG Wicks. I don't know if you guys watch him. If not, he's on Instagram and he has like over 1 million followers, several million on TikTok. And he basically will show you, like, most of the time it's kind of whatever, but he's like, people are saying, be careful. And he showed himself outside, like dancing in the rain. He's like, yeah. Floridians over here, like, doo-doo-doo. Yeah. But yeah, we take it serious, but like, some of them are like that everybody else would think are serious. We're like, what? And like, it's not.
What people don't realize is that if we get, say, we'll get 20, 30, hurricane warnings throughout the year. And then at that point in time, everyone just goes to literally the liquor store and loads up their house and has a hurricane party. That's pretty much
hurricane party.
Where we're at, located in the Gulf in the Tampa Bay area, it literally has a cut back in to go out. So it always hits below us or above us. Knock on wood that I'm not jinxing myself right now.
You better not, that it doesn't take a sharp right.
Now turn into Whatnot tomorrow night, watch my house blow away, on camera. So
that's what I was going to put hurricane party for my thumbnail if I do. Yeah. Cora said she got her first negative comment because the customer didn't like the box. And it knocked her down to 96.7. How long does it take to get back up to 100%? I think only one of us needs to answer this question.
Only one.
Me? You want mommy to answer? It takes a year. It takes a year for it to get off. I just had a negative and I got it removed. I'm at 100% and have been now for about 6 months, but I wasn't for almost 3 years. So now I protect that like nobody's business. But mine got taken off because she was mad she didn't have a printer and couldn't print a return label. She didn't even contact me. I would have mailed her one had she asked me. She just left me negative feedback. And so, but because she opened the return and I'm top rated, soon as her time ran out to ship it back to me, the negative comment went away, which was a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Have you guys got any negative comments for like stupid stuff like a box or anything like that?
Yeah. So in this situation, what you need to do, because I've been through this, I have 100% feedback. Okay. But that has taken work because I have gotten negatives throughout the year that, you get them taken off. The first thing you want to do is reach out to the buyer. Yep. Okay. Start the communication. That's what eBay's going to tell you first. Start the communication back and forth. See what you can do to resolve the issue. Something like this, and then like the box or whatever. Hey, we have we do returns. We'll take, we'll do 100%, refund on your purchase. Just return it. And then, in part, we just ask that you remove the negative feedback for us, resolving the issue. And usually that helps. eBay wants to see that communication first. Now, it depends on who sometimes you get on the phone or on the chat. If you're going to get it taken off, I say if it doesn't work the first time, try again, because sometimes it takes 3 or 4 people to get it taken off. So, yeah.
All right. Let's see. Any advice on sorting and starting an inventory system, but she already has 450 listed with no inventory system?
Okay, so I'm going to preface this by saying when I first started out in this and doing reselling YouTube, one of the first guys I started watching was Kevin Commonwealth Picker. And if everyone knows Kevin, I know he's in the chat here. Kevin does not have an inventory system because he knows where everything is. I did the same thing. And when I had 500 listings, it was fine. 1,000 listings, it got a little bit difficult. I'm up to 2,700 listings now, and I still don't really have an inventory system. And sometimes it's difficult because my old brain doesn't remember where things are. I would highly, highly, highly recommend at 450, take the step back, organize everything out, get bins, label the bins, get a custom SKU label, put a custom SKU where you're putting the things. So that way, when you sell something, you don't have to go, where did I put that? And then waste. I've literally times wasted an hour trying to find an item, and time is money, and you're just wasting it then if you don't do that. I'm at the point now where I would need a week to redo everything, and it's like so hard to find that kind of time to do it. I might do it on this winter because it is an enormous mess, and no one in my household wants to help me with this now because they don't know where anything is. Only Dad does, and they're just like, you know where it is, you go find it, and it can be a mess. So yeah, if you can take the time to reorganize now, you only have 450. It seems like a lot, but it really isn't, and it'll save you so much time in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. I deal in a lot of hats, and I have them in these long boxes. Man, when I first started selling the hats, I had 3 boxes, 5 boxes. I could be like, oh yeah, that was in this box. Oh, this is because I put like 10 hats in a box. When it got to like 10, 15 boxes, I was like, oh, it's in a hat box 5. No. Oh, hat box 6. No. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 5, 4, 3, 2. It's in hat box 1. So yeah, that's something we talk about on the Reseller Information Network, our YouTube channel, all the time. With when you're new starting out, that's the most important thing that you can do is start an inventory system. It might be simple where you're like you have it on a shelf and you say top shelf, middle shelf, bottom shelf. If you get into the habit of doing that every single time you list an item, when you start growing more and more, it's just going to be like clockwork. You're going to be like, oh yeah, I put that in bin 27. Boom, bin 27. So you're just going to work that into your routine from the very beginning. Now, if you've already had 450 items, I would take a weekend off and maybe just go, yo, let's just blank it all out and just do an inventory. Just do a Saturday, Sunday, do an all-day inventory, and then start putting in the SKUs. Hey, let's name this box right here. Let's name this shelf or this hanging or whatever. Just name everything, and then so when you have it all done, you can start working that into your systems.
So I do agree with both of them. They both make great points, especially when Chris said that not time is money. And there's times where I have looked for 20, 30 minutes for a $7 item. And it's the most frustrating thing in the world. And I should just go refund the buyer because it's actually saved me time and money just to refund a buyer at that point. But like Sir Eric said too, is like you need to be organized because as you grow, you can't find your item. Like if you sell a $200 item and you can't find it, that also has happened to me. And I have gone days until I actually found it. Like that's the worst. So one thing I would tell you to do is you can kill 2 birds with one stone right now. You can do inventory and you can actually learn to organize your items at one time. What I would do is grab a box each night or, each day, grab a box, maybe start with your items that maybe they've been on eBay the longest and delist them. When you relist them, add a new SKU to them, for the boxes. So then that way you can knock out maybe one box a day, just little by little. That way you're delisting and you're keeping your delisting items, but you're also going to sell similar and get those items right back up. So it's actually to keep activity going in your account and it's going to be fresh. Also, too, you can put an inventory system on there and kill 2 birds, 1 stone. And you may find items too that you thought were listed that aren't listed, because I will tell you, that's how when I start pulling out boxes and I start adding things in, I always find items that I thought were listed or were listed that eBay took down, because magically eBay does remove listings that no one knows, or someone buys it and it doesn't pay and I forget to relist it. So it does happen. So having an inventory system is the best. As for Kevin, when he does his, he puts similar items in certain spots. So that's another inventory system that you can do for people that really bothers them. Keep all your hats in one area. But if you're like Cernok, when you got 2,000 hats, that system doesn't work either. So.
No.
Yeah, and I probably had about how many you have when I started doing it, and I was the same way where I knew where everything was, getting close to 500, and then I was working full time, and my husband had to find them. So me knowing in my head, I could go straight to it, but somebody else, like if you get sick or somebody needs to step in and ship for you, they can't find it. And then the problem is that you remember now, but what happens when that's a long tail item 2 years from now when it sells and you're like, where the heck is it? So I did not go back and custom SKU like those 450. I just started inventorying everything after the fact. And what I do now, and there are still some of those original, they are still there. When I moved them out of the house, I did label them at that point, and then I also, if I go to send an offer or I receive an offer and there's no custom SKU, then I make myself find the item before I accept the offer or send the offer. Because if I can't find it, there's no point in selling the friggin' thing.
I call it put your hands on it. Put your hands on it first, then accept the offer, because I've gotten burned on that before.
Because I've accepted and then I'm like, oh, I can find it. I remember where and then I can't find it. Johnny was on with us not long ago, a Cajun Roots reseller. His inventory is not like custom skewed. It's like Rod was and Kevin saying if he was niched, he would, if he had a bunch of one item. Johnny's inventory is like a Walmart store where each category is in a certain section, and like DVDs are in alphabetical order, books are in alphabetical order. So in that case, anybody could still find them, because you'd be like, oh, it's in the toy section or it's in the jewelry section. But we have like hundreds and hundreds of pieces of jewelry, and that would not work. He's driving me crazy. I will not lie. He is cute. I agree. But he's a little extra because it's a hurricane day and he's been cooped up inside. So yeah. Yeah. See, look, like Cora's been in the hospital 3 weeks. What are you going to do if something, heaven forbid, happens and you're not there? Can somebody else run that business without you? It was a Dalton SpongeBob ghost. That's what you saw. It was a Dalton SpongeBob ghost.
Yeah, it was me, guys.
Flicker Maple says, I sold an exercise bike on eBay 2 weeks ago. Local pickup. Buyer paid. The money is in the bank. I've messaged them twice to schedule a pickup. No response. What do I do? And she's saying she hopes they're okay.
Yeah, I would hope they're okay too. I've not done local pickup through eBay, only when I used to cross list on Facebook Marketplace, which I don't do anymore. But I mean, if you have the money, you have the item, and you're doing the due diligence of reaching out to the buyer, there's really not much else you can do on your end. Just hope that they're going to get back in touch with you at some point. Keep that bike to the side. Don't resell it. Don't relist it because you've already sold it. And then just, hopefully something bad didn't happen to them.
Yeah, I would just wait. I would just wait it out. Maybe send a third message, and then from there, just eBay will see that you did your due diligence. That's the major thing. If eBay sees that you did the work, you will not get penalized. So I would say send a third message, and say, hey, I need to know what to do, and then I would wait, and if it gets over a long period of time, I would contact eBay and be like, hey, what should I do? And they'll have it all in their records. And yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, I agree with them. It has happened. I know ADH Dave had where he sent stuff off and the buyer never got it. And UPS tried to deliver it like 10 times because it was a big item they had to sign for. It was like an $800 or $1,000 item. And it was sent back to me. Contacted the buyer multiple times and stuff. It was like for months. Some people just, when they buy stuff, they may forget, or sometimes, like Cora just said, she was in the hospital for 3 weeks. You just never know. So, yep. I mean, eBay can track what Chernock's referring to is when eBay can track everything you do, they see every message, they see every bid, they see everything that you do on there. So any type of communication that you're reaching out, being proactive, is going to be a positive for you. But I mean, you've already reached out twice. I would reach out a third time. And that point in time is I would sit back and just wait, and see what happens, because you've done everything in your power to try to get this situation resolved. It sucks because it's probably a big bike and you probably want to get out of your place. That's what I'm assuming, but at this point in time, there's nothing else you can do.
So first of all, I would look and see where the buyer's from. You can act like you're going to print a shipping label and it should tell you where they are. You might be surprised, like you're in Florida like me and the buyer's in California, and they thought you were going to ship it and they paid no attention to it saying local pickup only.
Yeah.
Years ago, it was probably in the 90s, like 99 when I first started eBay. I had that happen. I sold a fish tank, local pickup only. The buyer was indeed across the country. They had no intention of picking it up. They thought I was going to ship it to them. So I would see if you can find where he's located and if it's close to you to see if it's a legit local pickup sale. Because if he's far away, if it were me, I would just cancel it. You've already reached out to him twice. If he lives states away from you, chances are he's not going to come pick up that exercise bike.
Now,
So I would try a third time, but if he's located far and not answering, I would probably cancel.
So I would say though, for my situation, I saw a TV. I sold to one of the players for the Chiefs, but his address was in Green Bay because he used to play for Green Bay Packers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was in Tampa, but his house was actually in Tampa, so he just never updated his address on his account. So you want to be careful. Just make sure, like you said, find out where they are. More than likely, a lot of buyers do buy stuff that don't read. That happens all the time on eBay.
Yeah.
So Cat's probably right, but just do your.
You can refund the buyer. The thing to be careful with is like the buyer and seller protection's only 30 days from the date of the sale. So you're getting close to being at that. You're halfway there already, even though it's not been picked up. So I would reach out a third time, check where they're at, and then decide from there what to do. Anani said she is in the Wilmington, North Carolina area. Been there, done that with hurricanes. This one looks like it's going to skirt the coast and get you guys as well. So you guys be careful as well. Julian reached out to me, Bearded Thrift. And so I started looking at the path. I'm like, dude, are you ready? I'm like, it looks like it's coming out by you. So you guys in the Carolinas, be careful too. It's cutting across Florida and Georgia, and it's going to be right there hanging on the Carolina coast. So you guys be careful as well. And thank you so. I'm going to give you the beach. Why not? How fitting is that? Or kind of ironic. Here you go.
It just said it just intensified to category 2 11 minutes ago.
Yeah, they're expecting it to be a 3 by the time it hits here is what the forecast is. So that water is warm. Rod can attest. Rod came scalloping with me. We were just out in the Gulf a couple weekends ago. It is hot out there. The water is warmer than normal in the Gulf, which fuels those bad boys. So they are there. Yes, sir. Miss Rita wants us to talk about how to prepare to sell on Whatnot, like what equipment, types of items would be like asking us what to sell on eBay. It's pretty much anything you can ship on Whatnot at this point. There's a category for everything. But can you guys talk about like what you do to prepare for a sale and what equipment you use to run?
Yeah, I'll just, like I said before, I haven't sold on Whatnot in a couple of months, but, I used to, prepare to set your store up ahead of time, get as really good pictures, really good descriptions in there. So like people, when they come in, they can see exactly what you're selling and there's not a confusion. I know when I go into Whatnot, I'm not like super impressed when I'm like, I see, item 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's no description and there's like a blurry picture. It's like, I get it. Or there's no pictures and it's all the same picture. And you're like, I think Rod in the Discord that we're part of actually posted someone who literally had a picture of their feet as every picture, which is just sort of crazy. Like, you don't want to do that. That's not going to attract buyers to your sale. Might attract some buyers, but probably the wrong buyers for the you're
Not
trying
the
to.
ones I want.
Right. But just there's like anything we're going to sell on, the more prep work you put ahead of time, the better the outcome's going to be. And the equipment, when I did my Whatnots, I did them on my phone. Just put it right on your phone, set it up, and you're good to go. Like the very first one I did, I tried to do my phone for chat, and I did a camera for the actual Whatnot off my computer, and it was like a nightmare logistically. And everyone after I did on my phone, and it was so much smoother. And there's all Whatnot because they have a lot of tutorial videos for you. I'd recommend watching those. I know I did before I started. I watched every video that they had out there, and they were very helpful in terms of how to, get things set up, your flow, what you should do, and also watch other people's Whatnots beforehand. See people who are doing things that you like, see things that people are doing that you don't like, and get a feel for that before you actually go live your first time.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing is, like, I don't know if people know this, like, I was one of like the early people on Whatnot.
Yes.
Me and like Tim over the years from the Reseller Information Network. Us two were like kind of like what they call OGs of Whatnot. Here's the thing, because this seems like Rita has a lot of like, this, and this. And it's like, what type of items? Well, what type of items are you finding? Here's the thing about Whatnot that a lot of people really, I think, don't understand about Whatnot is, unless you have hyped, crazy stuff, your stuff is not going to sell for eBay prices. Okay. Whatnot right now, back in the day, it used to be different. When we first started, we would have a whole 2-hour block to ourselves. And, we would go, oh, well, I'm going to go from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And then someone else would jump in the same category. Like, all right, I'm going to run from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. And I'm going to, now it's like, hey, let's go look at the vintage category. There's 48 people running right now. Okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
So right now, if you have just simple stuff, it's going to go for liquidation. Okay, it's going to be liquidation. We used to sell hats, $15, $20 a pop. Boom, boom, boom. People would be bidding against each other. Now we're throwing them out there for $5 and $7. Okay, and that's what we're getting. It's liquidation. So first off, before you even start Whatnot, you got to make sure you have a lot of inventory if you're going to do it consistently. And before, like, you can watch all the videos on the equipment and stuff. Here's the main thing I would say about Whatnot. Before you even or like when you schedule your first show, schedule it way far in advance. Do all the advertising you can for it. Tell everybody about it. Okay, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your Instagram, tell your Facebook groups, tell everybody about it, because I see so many people, because I'm a mod in one of the Facebook groups, the Whatnot Facebook group. Here's what people happen. They get all excited. Oh man, I got, like, I know a lot of women get excited when they first open up the women's like clothing category. They were like, oh, we're going crazy. I counted at one time, there was 158 shows at one time. 7 p.m. on a Wednesday night, 158 shows. So what's going to make yours stand out from everyone else's? I don't know. How many people would you tell about it? Because a lot of people would go, hey, I'm going to turn the camera on. I'm going to smile. I'm going to have my stuff. And I'm going to have 40, 50 viewers. And then they're heartbroken because they had 1 viewer, 2 viewers, 3 viewers, and 30 minutes and 0 sales. And so it's like you got to put that groundwork into it, because no one else is going to do that for you. So I hope that's, I think that's way more important than the equipment and, preparing, those are all great things, but you want to do those items first before you even think about selling on Whatnot right now. And in this current state of Whatnot.
Yeah, I think Cernok hit the nail on the head. He got a lot of good points there. When it comes to equipment, I'd say buy a $10 tripod, so you can put your phone on. That's really, because I hate nothing more than I hate when it looks like the person has Parkinson's and just running, the phone's going all over the place and stuff like that. On that, like it makes me almost sick when I'm running when I'm watching the show. Also, to Rita, go on there and go through 10, 15, 20 different shows in the category that you want to sell in, and take notes of what you like and what you don't like. And, so that you don't make those same mistakes, because you need to treat Whatnot. Whatnot is not a selling platform. And I preach this every single week. Whatnot is a social media platform, because people go there to get entertained. Yep. People come back. There's people that buy stuff on Whatnot that doesn't even want the items, but they're getting entertained. So what you like on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, what catches your eye, that's the way you need to approach your shows.
Yeah. And here's the thing, Ron. People buy from people they like as well.
Correct.
Yeah.
Bingo. Like, if you go to a store, if you go buy a car and the guy seems like a slimy used car salesman, you're going to buy them. But if a guy's helpful, you enjoy the person, hey, you're going to be more willing to buy. Take that same approach when it comes to Whatnot. And I will say, prepare to lose money. And I hate to say this, but you have to remember, like, you're opening a brand new storefront right now. What are you going to do to get people to come in there? So you need So I would put items in there that people are going to want because you need to get some type of attraction to those. But also too is, things that you're willing to start at a lower cost because you're not going to get eBay pricing. So that's a big thing. I would say Flip the World, when I went to FlipCon, said that he did 4 months of shows and lost money all 4 of those months before he figured out what to do. For me, I ran my first 4 or 5 shows. Really didn't. I made what, $50, $100, but I gave away a bunch of stuff. Like I didn't get much traction. I get anywhere from 5 to 10 people in those shows, and I have a small following on YouTube and stuff like that, but I couldn't get. I have almost 8,500 people on YouTube, and I can only get 10 people on my show and whatnot. So I will say you don't need a social media following, but at the same point in time is you need to be able to promote those items. So what I did. What I did 3 weeks ago, I scheduled a show, an all free show, which I gave away 20 something items. And listen, it cost me about $150 because shipping plus the cost of items. But I had 142 people in there at one point in time. In those 4 weeks, I have gained 400 something followers now. And when I did that, I actually scheduled my shows in advance. So I scheduled my show for tomorrow. My next show was scheduled for the 13th. If you go to my show tomorrow, there's 75 items in there already that you can go and take pre-bids. 14 of those items have pre-bids. My show for the 13th, I started scheduling items in there tonight because when I do my show tomorrow, I'm going to promote it and say, hey, you guys like what we see here? Go to my next big show. That one already has 36 or 40 bookmarks on it because I'm going to start promoting in advance. Whatnot has all these tools. Take good photos so that people can see it. People can share it. So make sure you can upload a 10, 20-second video of your items there. Use all those tools to your advantage because this is what is going to help promote your shows. You have to be prepared to be successful because if you're just going to show up the night before and try to things and never did a Whatnot show, you're going to be prepared for a disappointment. And Kat will tell you more. Kat runs 5 shows a week. She has 70,000 followers on YouTube, but yet she still gets, you get 50 people on average to your show, but you still.
Which is not crap, guys. It's not crap.
And I say that positively because she's doing 5 shows. She's doing 20 plus shows. At one point in time, you're running literally 2 shows a day. So you were doing 30, 40 shows a month at one point. So.
Yes. So here's the cool thing. I did not see Jocelyn is a good friend of mine, Crazy Lamp Lady, and she rated somebody, and I believe it was Angel. And the cool thing that I got to see is Angel then rated me. So Jocelyn rated her, Angel rated me. I ended up running an hour and a half later than I planned. And that's the thing. So, as far as equipment, I will tell you, I bought an iPhone just for Whatnot because I run on Android and Whatnot likes iPhone a lot more. Yeah. So I did pen a comment and I want to put this up here because this is a really good point. I haven't heard it happen in a while, but please put your phone on Do Not Disturb. There is nothing more annoying than watching a show and hearing ding or like whatever the notification is or somebody's phone ringing, and mute your laptop. So I use an iPhone to start rating. We do rating every single night, and it is my favorite part. And everybody laughs at me because we make people cry on a regular basis. I raid the person I see in the jewelry category with the least amount of people. If they have 2 people in there, I am bringing my 50 or 60 to them. So occasionally, Sunny, I will raid, like if Rod's on, I do raid my friends, but 90% of the time I raid people I don't know. So what it is at the end of the show, you can send all of your Whatnot viewers to another show. And I had to start a good, and we have a naughty and nice list, me and Marcia, because we went into some shows that I wanted to make sure I did not raid again. Either they were rude or nasty or just... There were some bad ones. People that come in my Whatnot all the time could tell you some stories. But I would rather raid people I don't know because it helps them more. It is very hard to get started on Whatnot without a following. I am blessed I have a following, but look at, like Rod said, 50, and it's good, but for 70,000 followers on YouTube, it's not. Like, it doesn't compute over is what I'm saying. Yeah. For some people, it does. Like, Jocelyn gets 1,000, 1,500 people in her show. She has almost 300,000 followers. Danny, the niche lady, gets 200 plus. and she has 80,000. I don't get that many, but you don't need that many, guys. You could have a sold out show with 3 people. You need 2 people to want the same friggin' thing. That's all you need.
Yep.
And I will tell you, we ran a show Thursday. I think it was Thursday. Did not do well. Like, I couldn't sell much to save my life. So I said, okay, I'm going to do it was Friday. So I ran a pop-up Saturday. I said, I'm going to try and run all this same stuff again, see if it's a different crowd in the afternoon. Nobody still wanted it. But I had vintage linens. So here I am in the jewelry category, and I'm like, do you guys want some vintage linens? I sold over 50 of them and did what I would normally do in a jewelry show. So you have to be, just like any part of reselling, you have to be willing to pivot. If I see people don't like what I have, I'm going to go grab something else. I'm not going to keep pushing, and I'll tell them, like, I don't want to waste their time or mine. If you don't want what I have, I'll go get something else. I want to make some money.
So, Kat, do you keep reserves on the side then now for your shows just for that reason?
No, I'm like, hold on, and I run to the pantry where I'm crazy and keep things, and I go get different stuff.
Okay.
And Brad got mad because I sold a whole box of linens, and I'm like, I need more linens. And of course, it was on the bottom shelf, like behind everything. And I'm like, I need that box, and made him dig it out in the middle of the show. But you just have to be able to pivot. I agree with Rod. You have to be willing to probably lose money for, it could be a while, in order to build it up. But even like, I've been doing jewelry. We've sold 22,000 items since September, guys, on Whatnot. I've sold a lot. Whatnot is now my main income.
Little.
Just a few. But I pivot. If people don't want it, it doesn't matter who I am, or how much they like me. That's not always going to work.
It's the same approach you take to eBay. If stuff's not selling on eBay,
Change it.
Yeah.
Change it.
Yep.
It's no different than that.
So to get back to equipment, we start on the iPhone. We use a laptop to like pen and run the items, and that's all you need. I have a very expensive fold holder because I'm making so much money from it. I have a Canva. It's a $200 phone holder, but it's worth it to me. It's an amazing ring light. It's an amazing holder. I think it's worth it because I do 5 shows a week. So for me, it was worth the investment. If you're just starting, I wouldn't make that investment, but just be prepared for a struggle. It's hard. And Mark put up, I have a tips video on Whatnot. I only have 1 video on it because it's hard, and I don't think it's for everybody. And honestly, I'm not overly encouraging everybody to do it because it is very saturated now. It is super saturated, and it's very hard. I'm lucky we're still doing well, but that could change any day, and I know that. So
you go back to eBay or something else. You pivot.
Yeah. I will pivot.
Here's the last thing I say about this too. I forgot to say this. Don't do Whatnot if you don't like shipping. Okay? Because there's a lot of shipping involved. You know what I'm saying? A lot of shipping involved. I think Ricochet reseller said that earlier. Yeah, there. If you're selling, 100 t-shirts in one night, you gotta get them 100 t-shirts out in 2 days. So
right,
you better like shipping.
And t-shirts and clothes. Think about what you sell. You will not see me selling a breakable item on Whatnot. We sell jewelry because it's very small and they go in a box and in a poly mailer. Linens, same things. We shove them in a poly mailer. They're not going to break. Kudos to all those that sell glass and breakables. I do not want to do it. I do not want to do it.
Sorry, Sonny. And I would say if anyone here in the chat wants to be going to be on Whatnot, if you come tomorrow, I'll promote your show because we're stronger together as a community than individually. So come on, if you join my thing tomorrow, we'll promote you, try to get some followers because I know the struggle. We're all struggling to build a following. So, hey, New Jersey picker, they're in Ocean City area. Where are you from?
Sure. So I'm from Hunterdon County, New Jersey. It is literally the middle of nowhere, New Jersey. People think of New Jersey and they think of like cities and beaches, and I'm literally out in the country, like just cows and bears. I'm literally at the bottom of a mountain. And it's funny, like I've been talking about this a lot with my friends and some people in the reselling community. I dub myself the New Jersey picker because I live here in New Jersey, but I literally probably shop and source out in Pennsylvania 75% of the time because there's no sales around me ever. I have to travel 45 minutes to an hour east to get to a sale. Where if I travel 15 to 20 minutes west and I head into Pennsylvania, right down that Lehigh Valley corridor, Rod knows where I'm talking about. He grew up there. East in Bethlehem, Allentown, Hellertown, Quakertown, Doylestown, all those areas there, I get so much good stuff from that area. Where in Jersey, I don't get a ton of good stuff. So I really am more like the Lehigh Valley picker than anything. But yeah, so that's where I'm from. Long story short.
Oh, Jocelyn rated April. It was April 26th. I thought it was Angel. So April, I'm sorry. I don't know if April watches me. But Rod's show is before my show. Rod's show is at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. My show, If I Have Power, is at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So he is an hour before me.
Yeah, I try to schedule mine. And when I saw Kat has always hers up at 8:30, I moved all my times to 7:30 because I don't want to pull from her crowd at all and impact her show. So I try to schedule an hour earlier. Maybe she'll get rated. Who knows?
Hey, If I Have Power. J Ride Flips wants to know, Rod, are you getting the LeBron you brought from Carrie graded?
So speak about Whatnot. I went on Whatnot and I supported American Arbitrage. He's doing a sports card thing, and I bought a LeBron rookie card for $240, I think, off him. And I do trust him. And he said it was near mint to mint. Just possibly the center might be slightly off. Well, so if I get that graded as if it comes back as a 10, we're probably looking about 15 to $2,000 on that ballpark. If it gets graded as a 9, $600. So it's worth the risk for me. I mean, plus make some good content. You know, I love challenges and I love putting out help educating the community on grading because there's not a lot of resellers that actually do a lot of grading. So I try to help out that as much as possible as well.
No, it's raining. I leaned over and my glasses caught Dalton right in the side of his eye. Berkshire Picker says, my question tonight is, how often do you end listings and sell similar?
So I typically try to purge my inventory. So when I first started, I never did this, and I went like 2 years before I did it. But now I usually go on like a 6 month out window. So if something hasn't sold in 6 months, I will end it and then I will sell similar and relisted. And I think Rod said it earlier in the night, just when you do that process, you're constantly feeding into that eBay algorithm of putting new listings out there. And then you can also then, if you don't have to, but if you want, you can look at the prices again, readjust. You know, if something hasn't sold for 6 months because you're selling it for $40, maybe it's time to drop the price down to $30. You know, I also do run sales a lot, and if stuff still hasn't sold after that, it is a good time to lower the price. But yeah, I'm typically on like a 6 month window. I don't do it daily. I usually do it monthly. The beginning of each month, I'll take a look at what hasn't sold from 6 months out, and I'll just end all that stuff and I'll relist it.
So, I went through a big end and relist. So there's a lot of confusion, and this is my take. I don't know. I relist everything. I don't sell similar. I relist it because the old myth of like you don't get a new number. If you relist it, it gets you a new number. Okay. And by relisting, I've seen this. You don't retain all of your watchers, but it sends them a reminder. Okay, that hey, a watched item of yours has been relisted. Please view here. Okay. Or if they go in their watch items list, they'll see, hey, this item has been relisted. View it here. If you do sell similar, that doesn't show up. So that's kind of my take. I've been doing a lot of ending and relisting because this is where I'm going to put this in here. I've been doing AI generated backgrounds for a lot of my photos. Okay. And and again, I'll dispel a myth that, eBay wants white backgrounds. We've heard it. Guess what? I've been selling AI backgrounds with my stuff with AI backgrounds and been killing it with it. Okay. Especially with hats, especially with shoes. So what I've been doing is I've been going and ending it, relisting it, and then taking that original photo that I have, dragging it into a photo room, putting an AI background on it, and then re-putting it up there. And I've seen very, very great success in that. And if you want to save some money, because we are the only the Reseller Information Network are the only people on Reselling YouTube right now that has a promo code RIN. If you go to photoroom.com and sign up for the pro version and put RIN, it does now. They're working on the app. You have to go to photoroom.com on the computer and put the promo code RIN in there, and you can save 10%. And I'm telling you, if you don't have Photoroom right now, it's like the most. It's a very, very valuable tool. I will rank Photoroom almost as much as I rank my thermal printer on a reselling level, because you can make beautiful photos, and you don't need an expensive photo box or anything like that. Like I take stuff on my bed. I take literally I lay a foam board down, take a picture on my bed, and take the photo there. So yeah, end relist. I end relist, and I try to do better photos. Take a look at the title, maybe keywords, and then look at my description, look at my price, all those things, and then how often I do it. It just depends on how busy I am. I see another thing, like I see another question. I'm like, that depends on how I feel in the morning. So so yeah, I don't have any kind of like, but I have been ending and relisting a lot of items because I have been adding the photos, the AI generated background photos on it.
So, hey, Rod, before you go, Rod, I just wanted to just jump in really quick. I also do what Cernoc does. I don't sell similar. I do the relist method as well. I think it's a little bit quicker too to do it that way. And I'm also going to just hop on what he said with Photoroom. I'm not affiliated with Photoroom, as only they are. But from them, and I think it was actually Rod who also introduced it to me. I've been using Photoroom for like 2.5 months now, and it is a game changer.
Yes.
I mean, your stuff sells. I've noticed. I've done tests. I will put something out there without, like, a very similar item without the Photoroom photo background, and one with just like my simple stock background that I'm using. And the ones with the Photorooms will sell quicker. You're going to get more people looking at them, more viewers on them, more watchers on them, so you can send offers if you like to send offers. It's a huge helpful tool. And I think the pro version, sorry, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's like $70 for the year.
It just went up. I think it went up to $100 a year.
Still well worth it if you break it down per day. It's such a huge game changer, and it's super easy and intuitive to use. It is not a very difficult program to use to learn in any way. They make it really foolproof, and they dumb it down so anyone can use it, which is great.
So you guys heard me preach about, I'll just jump on the Photoroom since they're doing it too. You guys heard me preach on this show about Photoroom. I would say of all the tools I use, it's probably one of the most important because eBay changed the rule 2 or 3 years ago that you didn't need a white background. So, you can actually remove all your backgrounds, but Cernoc's the one to show me that when I was on the 100-mile sale with him up in Virginia, and it's been an absolute game changer. So the reason I brought that up was because now when I am ending my listings, I don't relist, I do sell similar. And I have been changing some of my photos, just the main photo. Don't change all your photos, because I know people have messaged me saying that they've been changing all the photos. It's taking so long. You only need to change the first one because you don't grab people's attention. So I've been upgrading my photos, doing that. From time frame.
So how often do you do it?
Yeah. So time frame wise, I was like Chris. I was doing every 6 months. If an item hits 6 months. But one thing I learned from eBay is that after pretty much 90 days, your listing is pretty much starting to die off. So now I've cut it down to 4 months. So what I've been doing now here is there we go. Yep, right there, business podcast. Yeah, it's the 90 days. So so what I do is every morning I actually start my day before I do anything else. I go in there, I take 5 or 10 listings, I end them, and then I do sell similar. I don't do relist, I sell similar, and I update them, and I lower the price on every single one of those items. It might be $1, it might be $5, it might be $10 or $50, no matter what it is. Because if it's not selling in 4 months right now at that price point, there's something wrong. So I need to I'm going to get that item up there again to get things moving in my store. But I do it every day because right away it starts my store off a brand new action.
Yeah, so I actually, because of reading this, will probably switch. I was doing 6 months, so I'll probably switch to 90 days. I do it every day I've been doing 6 months, so now I'll probably switch it to 90 days. And I'm the same as Rod. So first thing in the morning, that's the first thing that I do is I do end and sell similar. And then I end my listings and list perfectly that have sold overnight. That's like my first two things that I do. Real quick, somebody wants to know if we use Photo Room on our. I will tell you, you can use Photo Room on the computer or the phone, but they want to know what do you use it on. So we'll go around and say, do you use it computer or phone?
Both. So I'll use it on the phone mainly, but if I am on the computer doing the end listings and relist, I'll do it through the computer.
Yeah, both as well. You will find more of the new features on the website on the computer than on the phone because we talked to them because it's easier just to put it on the computer because it's all the same. They don't have to go for Android and Apple and make sure it works on both. So all the new features are on the computer. But I do both. So
yeah, I do both. This Perfectly does have it built in, but since I do all my listings pretty much from my phone because I like to listen to go or wherever I'm at, I'm listening all day long. I prefer to use Photo Room on my phone.
Yes.
And you can bulk edit on your phone. You can batch it, or when you're doing the custom backgrounds, you can only use one photo at a time. But you only need one photo to grab people's attention.
Yeah, and there's other things too you can do with Photo Room too. That like a lot of clothing sellers, there's a perspective tool you can do. Like you ever get those wonky T-shirts that look like trapezoids?
Yeah,
you get. I'm telling you, there's a lot of things you can do. So yeah, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, I have the free version is enough. Well, okay, if you get the pro version, you're gonna love it even more.
I had guys, the time saver of being able to do 50 at a time alone is worth it. It's definitely worth it. I am gonna go ahead and let's do some giveaways. I know Chris wanted to give away something from Vendu. I am gonna give away Giaro packs. And yeah, so we'll do Giaro pack first. If you guys don't know, Mark will drop it, my Daisy Polys, but Giaro pack actually switched it where you guys can pick anything you want from their website for free if you win. So you'll just tell me the color, the size of poly mailer you want, and Giaro pack will send it to you for free as long as it's in stock. Make sure it's in stock. I think we sold out the Daisy Polys. I think those might be out of stock right now. But anything else on Giaro pack you can do. I'm going to go ahead and share it. And then we'll pick 2 winners for Giaro pack for whatever you want on there. So the Daisy Polys are 100 packs. And then, I didn't start it. Step 1, Kat. Okay. And then Chris, what are you giving away for Vendu? You guys can go ahead and hashtag Giaro pack to get entered for this one. It'll be for whatever poly mailers off their website you want.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, no, I was going to say, go ahead. What are you going to do?
So for Vendu, Vendu's going to give away 2 free months of the Vendu service to whoever wins. All you have to do is just shoot me an email through my Instagram, and I'll get it over to them. So they'll get you the 2 free months to try out Vendu.
Perfect. So we will do that. We will do 2 winners for Giaro pack, whatever you want, guys. We buy our padded polys and we go through over 1,000 a month on Whatnot. So we have been using a lot of them. If you're buying from me on Whatnot, you're seeing their polys. We use the Daisy ones. I just stocked up on all sizes for Q4. 6x10 all the way up to 24x24, and they are the cheapest. And you get 10% off. Code the Nurse Flipper. 10% off of anything you buy on Giaro pack. So use that code.
They're actually cheaper than Amazon going through using your code.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're giving $100 coupons, but the funny thing is, the other day, their $100 coupons, the 10% off the Nurse Flipper saves you more. So use that. And I bought 1,000, so I mean, we save like $15 every time we order, which is nice. All right, let's try and get to 150, and I'll pick a winner. We got 140. There are over 400 of you in here. They're free poly mailers. Even if you're not a reseller, I would take some free poly mailers, even if I wasn't a reseller. And we will pick a couple of you, and then we will. Chris, are we giving away to one person 2 free months?
1 person, yeah.
Okay, perfect. And Vendo, Vendoo?
Correct. Yep.
Okay, so we'll do that for that one. Don't put it yet, though, because it's not started. It won't count. All right. 6 more people. Go. 4 more. Yes, sir, Dalton. Only 30 minutes, buddy. We're almost done. Dalton's on a schedule now, so about 9 o'clock he's tired because he's used to going to bed for school. 4 more. 2 more. Shabby Vintage Bell is asking Chris, is Vendo in Canada? Because List Perfectly is not.
I don't know. That's a great question.
2 more. Go. 1 more. We can do it.
I just Googled it. It is not available in Canada.
No. Okay. So it is not available in Canada either. I just saw some more, but it hasn't caught up yet. Okay, we got it. Let's pick 2 winners. Here's the first one. And you will email me your mailing address and go to gropack.com and pick what you want and tell me. Snowberry Vintage. You got the first one. The Nurse Flipper at yahoo.com. Mark or Marsha, will you type that in? Message me what you want off of GRO Pack and your mailing address. All right, let's pick another winner. Winner, chicken dinner. Dun, 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 dun. Patricia Casey, you got them as well. So you guys email me, the nurseflipper at yahoo.com. I'm going to click this again. We're going to do hashtag Vendo. Chris is giving away 2 months from Vendo. So if you would like to try Vendo, hashtag Vendo, and we will give that away, 2 months of Vendo. And then we have a lot of, we can try and do speed round.
Yeah, let's do speed round. We got 20 questions sitting there right now. We got about a half an hour left. So speed round, knock it out, quick answers.
We will try our best.
We'll try our best. It doesn't always work.
It is still not raining, so I am happy with that.
Yeah, it is. Looks like it is about a 10-mile-an-hour wind outside. So just a nice breeze. I'm looking around my office window.
Yeah, it's 10 miles with gusts of 17 here too.
Yeah. My little Charlie Brown tree in my backyard may not make it this year. When I built my brand new home, they put this tree in my backyard that looked like it was on life support, and it just never grew up. So
it still looks like it's on life support.
Yeah, it still looks like it's on life support. I've been here like a year and a half.
I have a citrus tree like that. I had 2, and one of them just went kaput, and the other one, it's like the little tree that couldn't. It just like sits there, and it's not dead, but it's not growing.
Yeah.
Oh, Shannon Hughes. I'm so glad this shows. So it didn't used to show. This is new. Shannon's been a member for 5 months. So thank you so much for being a member. That didn't used to come through to StreamYard. I'm excited about that. That has never done that before. I am excited. All right, we have 100 entries, guys. Let's go ahead. I'll give you 1 more minute. Get them in. I'll give you 1 more minute. I don't want to just draw it with no warning. I'll give you a minute to get in. And hopefully I will not lose power, but I feel like I'm going to. Because we're out in the country, so you can imagine all the trees on all the lines it takes to get to me. There are a lot. And if there's a lot of wind, there will be a lot of downed trees. Last storm, we were without power for 9 days. So,
Kat, did you see this in the chat here? There's someone who said there is a cross-listing software program called Cross-Listed Magic.
Yeah, let's put this up. Crosslist Magic. I might message them and see, because I have a lot of Canadian people.
Yeah.
I might, let me write this down before I forget. I would like to contact them. Crosslist Magic.
People want to know, do you have a generator out in God knows where you live out in the woods?
What do you think?
No.
I have 2 generators.
You have 2? Okay.
But I don't have a whole house generator because that costs about $10,000 and we need it like once every 3 to 4 years. So It is on a bucket list, but I Dalton burped really loud. But
I'm sorry.
Brad's aunt that lives 5 miles down the road from us on our road has a whole house generator. So what we did last time is we'd go there, shower, feel better, and then we'd come here. We ran our refrigerator and freezer. We kept running. We cooked on the grill, and then we powered the AC. We have a portable AC in our room, so we can maintain our food, and that's about it. But we don't. The whole house one's about 10 grand. One day I will have, and that runs off propane. But his aunt has one, so we can just drive 5 miles up the road. And we have a chainsaw, and we have to, a lot of times after those, you have to clear the road to get 5 miles down the road. But we have a chainsaw where we can do that. And Brad has friends that will come help him. All right, let's pick a winner. Winner, chicken dinner. Da, 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 da. Reggie's the winner.
Congrats, Reggie. Yeah, just shoot me a message on Instagram. It's at the New Jersey Picker, and I'll get your email. Just send me your email, and then I will get that over to Venue so they can get you your 2 free months to try it out.
Make sure you put the New Jersey Picker.
Yeah, someone stole that from you when I signed up for Instagram. So.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah.
All right. So if anyone, when we're doing those giveaways, if you put any questions in the chat, please redo your questions right now because
there's lots of hashtags.
500 hashtags in there, and we may have missed it. So
yeah.
All right. Yeah, mine has to be turned on like a lawnmower too. Mine, they're like a pull. You gotta have some. I can't get them to start. Brad has to pull the generator. All right, we're gonna try and answer as fast as we can so we can get to these as quick as we can. How do you get rid of the thrift store smell from textiles if you can't watch it? I picked up a unique item today, hand stitched, and it can't be washed in its current state.
It's a great question. Maybe the old tried and true, hang it outside on a clothesline, let the sun hit it. I mean, that's a really great way of getting rid of smells. I know, especially for electronics, you can get rid of, smoke smells from that. So it might probably work the same for something hand stitched. Just make sure that it's not raining out so it doesn't get wet.
Yeah, it depends on how strong the smell is. Because like smoke smell, I had a leather jacket. Yo, that thing hung outside under my porch for probably a month. Okay. And now it finally doesn't smell like a old man smoker. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, outside. I mean, I wouldn't put Febreze on or anything like that. Outside, but just watch it. You may have to leave it out there for a week or two. So
I would say I've used in the past to get smoke smell and stuff out. I actually use a tote with the laundry sheets, the ones you throw in the dryer. Just throw that in a tote, throw a bunch of those in there, and just keep it outside for a week, and then come back and open it up. So that's worked for me. Hanging it too also works.
I had Barbie clothes that were from a smoker, and I read. And what I did was put them in a closed tote with activated charcoal, like goes in a fish tank filter. And then I put tissue paper on top of it, put the clothes, closed it up for a week. It didn't get it completely gone, but probably 75%. It was pretty decent with the activated charcoal.
Yeah.
Aunt B wants to know. Oh, go ahead.
There's
sir.
a product also called Ozium too. Ozium, if you want to look it up, it doesn't have it takes out smoke smells. So.
Stop saying.
All right. Do you have a daily schedule?
Well, yeah. So since I have a full-time job Monday through Friday, I wake up, check my eBay store out, do my 9 to 5, and then it's just listings, pictures, orders, YouTube stuff every day, Monday through Friday, and then on the weekends it's sourcing.
My simple answer: no.
I would say for me, yeah, I do have a schedule. Pretty much, I just try to relist my items, and relist similar. I package up my items, and I try to get my photos done in batch, and I do everything batch photos, batch, shipping, batch listings. So that's pretty much what I do throughout my day.
I do not, because I'm doing different stuff all the time. Like Mondays and Thursdays are videos. If I have a Whatnot show, that's going to change it. The quick answer for me is no, just because life is a little too hectic, but I would like to. I have tried multiple times. It has not worked. I will keep trying, but I don't know if it ever will work.
Yeah.
Do you
I
have
got
a
it.
referral code
Yep.
for check?
Oh, right there, right in the chat, right there. I was ready for that question. Boom.
There you
Yeah.
go.
In the chat,
Got it.
referral code right there.
Right.
I'm a resell it. Shagan said, outside of Christmas and Halloween stuff, are there any other types of items you're listing now in order to prep for Q4?
Winter clothes, get your jackets. If you haven't listed them, get them listed now. Sweaters, sweatshirts, winter boots, Christmas ornaments. We already said it outside of Christmas stuff. But like any of the clothing items that will sell in the winter. I list stuff year round. I don't think you need to take things down and then put them back up. But rephrase that. I don't think you need to wait to list things to sell them, because people do buy stuff year round. But now's also a good time, if you have those listings up, to take them down and, like, as we were saying, either relist them or sell similar, to refresh them to get them prepped for Q4.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Jackets, outerwear, shirts, sweaters, boots. That's all I'm listing right now. Shoes, gloves. Think about winter. Also, anybody that does RA, retail arbitrage, people want new items for Christmas. So I sell a lot more new items rather than thrifted items during that that November, December time. So you might look at that too.
So both of what they said, both new items, also winter clothes. But I would say focus. What is really a big seller in the fourth quarter is toys, video games, stuff that are anything that you think could be a good present for someone. Also, too, people will have a tendency to spend or overspend in the fourth quarter. So make sure that you have anything that's high end in your debt pile. Get all your higher end items up, stuff that's going to bring you money, because stuff that you've been putting off, but put it up there, because I will tell you, some of my biggest sales have come from just things I just threw up a crazy price on. I never thought someone would buy it. I was waiting to just drop the price, and people bought it in the fourth quarter.
I would be happy if I could make myself just list regularly. I've been unsuccessful at that because we are concentrating on whatnot. So, and for me, and I say this, I don't sell Christmas gifty stuff. So typically Q4 is not an increase for me. I stay steady all year. So just list regular is what I would like to do. Has anyone tried Pro e-commerce lister?
No.
I have not. I know Casey, but I have not tried it.
I have not tried it either. Shagan, how are the flea markets in New York City, Jersey, and Philly?
So I don't ever go into New York City because I hate traveling into the city. I don't typically get down to Philly very often, but I'm going to be going down there tomorrow, oddly enough, to see a Phillies game with some of the guys from the Trash to Cash podcast. And Jersey, there are some really good flea markets, but they're like 2 hours away. I just did discover there is one up in Saylorsburg, PA, that's about an hours away from me, that a fellow YouTuber, Gemini Thrifts, just went to. It looks really promising, so I'm going to check that out next month. But in my area, it's yard sales, garage sales, church sales, rummage sales. Flea markets aren't a real big thing in this whole area around here, unfortunately.
Okay. How do you get wrinkles out of a ball cap? Sure not. Take it.
All right. Hey, this is a perfect opportunity to plug Reseller Information Network again. We just did, like, probably 3 months ago, Hat Camp 2023. We had been talking about for like 2 years. We did a 4-hour broadcast about just all about hats, cleaning, steaming, reshaping, all that stuff. So go check that out. I have a hat mold. I have a handheld steamer. A handheld steamer can get wrinkles out of a hat. I also bought a $124 contraption off of Amazon that steams your hats and gets the wrinkles out. So all that stuff we show in detail on the Reseller Information Network. Go look for the video called Hat Camp. Okay, it's a massive 4-hour live that we did. It all about hats. So if you anything about hats you want to know, we laid it out right there.
It takes you from Hat 101 to Hat 301.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get
Yes,
you get the whole college class.
Can you sum up how to ship them?
In a box. You want to ship them in a box. 8x6x4 for smaller hats, 10x8x6 for bigger hats, like your flat bill, branded trucker hats and stuff like that. But again, we go through all that stuff on our Hat Camp on the Reseller Information Network.
There you go.
So go check us out. We're live every Tuesday as well. So
Perfect. Bug Mountain Barn said he did his Whatnot show and shipping was different. He couldn't split it unless he paid for the shipping. Has anyone done split shipping on Whatnot?
they've changed it. So all I would say is just contact Whatnot. They've been doing a lot of just different things. So just contact them.
If you have your weights right, though, I would just find a bigger box. That's why I don't like shipping big things.
Correct.
And if you did the max, I would make sure you didn't do the max shipping so that like the buyer only pays the $8.35 or whatever. So just watch for that. But that's why I don't like big things on.
Isn't that the $8.35? Doesn't only go up to 5 pounds, and you have to pay for anything after that? Then they have to ship in a separate box.
I don't know because I never
Pretty
do
wrong.
more than 5 pounds. Well,
I know.
that's
It's
not
bad
true
people.
because like my jewelry bags are more than I don't know because Brooke does all the packing, so I never see the charges. I'll have to tell her like if there are charges to tell me. Does anyone have any tips on getting eBay to step in if a buyer returned something but said I didn't answer him enough? He was nasty.
I think we've been saying it all night. Just, make sure you have that great communication going back and forth with the buyer. Be kind and courteous, even if they're not. The worst thing you can do is to get into verbal, spat with them via email or whatever, because it's just going to come back to haunt you. Be super nice and then just contact them and let them know, hey, this is what the buyer did. And they should hopefully correct anything that you're having issues with.
Yep. That's
So, as I mentioned before, eBay tracks everything that you say. They also track whatever everything the buyer says.
Yes.
So I message every time I get a negative feedback or neutral feedback, I will message them to remove it, and I'll kill them with kindness. And if they come at me like being real rude or coming that's very inappropriate, that's an automatic removal, because all I have to do is contact eBay, say, hey, this is the messenger thing here. They're being, and they'll automatically remove it. So I almost prefer that when a buyer is difficult to me and they say, if they curse at you or something else, be like, hey, they're being spiteful on this one, they'll just remove it.
Yep.
Okay, say it now.
Thanks, Christy.
Christy messaged me and told me to tell Dalton something. So if he has already returned it, I wouldn't say crap to him, and I would just ignore him. If he opened a return, if you didn't answer him quick enough, I'm not gonna give them the time for.
We're not gonna do that. Like we aren't.
I'm not gonna answer them. I'm not gonna respond if they're being. If they're being nasty, I'm not going to answer them at all. It's not worth like sucking your energy to get upset about it is what I'm trying to say. If he left a negative feedback, then I would contact eBay and report him. If he didn't, I'm probably just going to ignore the guy and say whatever. She also asked if it's okay to, and I don't know the answer to this. Can you offer a buyer a gift to remove? I feel like that's that's like extortion in reverse, right?
I wouldn't do that.
I would not do
I don't
that.
think I would either.
Yeah, I would not do that.
And then Maggie, I hope you're still here. She just said she was leaving, but does it hurt to revise a listing?
No.
Nope.
No, I think it helps. It helps. It shows some movement. Berkshire Pickers over on Facebook. When should you change to the next subscription level? I'm on basic, but have 1,070 items and more every day. Should I go to the next level?
Yes, go to a starter store now. It will save you money on those listing fees and insertion fees, and that's what they're charging you every month. The basic store, I think you get 250, and then they're going to charge you every month to keep listing them. Where the starter store, you get 1,000, but you get up to 10,000 in certain other categories. So the starter store is probably your next best step to go to now.
Yeah, absolutely, upgrade, because then you'll get the coupon for supplies as well. So that's that almost like pays for a little bit of it anyway. So yeah, definitely go up to a starter store.
What they said right there.
Yep, I agree with what they said as well. I would go up. Carla asked me, have I covered the storm? So here's the thing. I guess it might be a little bit more. It looks like we're at 22 miles an hour with 45 mile an hour gusts. But you can see now at 1 a.m. we're going to have 69 mile per hour winds with gusts up to 105. So it's going to get a little dicey here soon. I guess I'm not going to bed. I'll just stay up for a little bit.
I'm gonna go outside with my GoPro, so maybe my next video you guys will see some nice little entertaining footage. I literally have construction across the street from my house. They're building a whole row of new homes, so hopefully nothing flies out and whacks my truck or my house or me. So we'll see.
I hope nothing whacks you. Scott said, I'm interested in selling hats. There have always been so many, but no idea what to look for. So is that in your Hat 101, Shernock?
Yeah, we cover that. Also, if you go to my page, you'll see.
You're going in and out again. It's evil again. We can't see or hear you.
What about now? Hold on, let's see.
No.
Oh, you were freaking
Oh,
me.
there we go.
Oh, he'll come back.
We'll
So
get back
do
to
we
that.
have any tips as far? I think Cernock's probably the most qualified to answer
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, I mean, I buy and sell a lot of hats, but not as many as he does. So
Yeah, I mean, he's the expert with that. If I had any hat questions, I definitely go to him myself
And
personally.
then there's another hat question. Let's do this question.
Okay.
Diane said she sold a clock as is, no pendulum. The buyer couldn't get it to work. He wants her to send $45, but he still wants to keep them. What should I do?
if she listed it as is with no pendulum, I mean, like, it's one of those ones where you can do something nice for the buyer if you think, if you sold it for a large amount of money and you think it's gonna be, the right thing to do. But if you did list it at that, the buyer doesn't really have any leg to stand on. If you told him that there was no pendulum, if you're selling it as is, yeah. I mean, I would say that, that sounds like extortion to me again as well. Send me $45 because this didn't work.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Same thing. I would be like, hey, if you're unhappy with it, we do returns. Please send it back and get a full refund.
So I will tell you this: there is a giant scam that goes around where people will buy items and then they'll buy the item and not see the flaw in the picture. It wasn't described or something like that, and they will reach out to the buyer and say, "Hey, this wasn't described right," but you'll have pictures and everything else, and they'll say, "Hey, send me this amount of money," or I'm unhappy with that. I'm going to report to eBay. I don't care if I lose money. I tell everyone to open a return on eBay, go through eBay, and I will issue you a refund once the item is returned. I will tell you 9 out of 10 times they do not return the item.
Yep.
So especially if you guys are new, like I have 6,000-7,000 feedback on there, but if you guys are new, like under 100, under 10, 50 on there, you will get targeted for this scam. So be careful.
Correct. Yep.
So I don't remember who I feel like it might have been Kevin a very, very long time ago. It might have been. I do full refunds only. So you are sending me it back or that's it, especially if I told you it had no pendulum. So that's like me selling watches as is. They bring it to the store to get it repaired. It won't work. Well, tough. Like I sold it as is. I didn't know if it would work or not, and that's it. So what I personally would do would say, I'm so sorry, but they don't know how big you are. I say, my business has a policy. I spoke to the manager. And they stated we only do refunds for returned items. So we're more than happy to take it back, open up a return. But if they say no, send the 45, that is feedback extortion. If they leave negative, eBay will remove it. Yep. They will remove it for you. Cernock, while you were gone, we had 2 questions. This is the first one. She's interested in selling hats. There seem to be so many. Are there any like quick tips you could give a beginner or a video you could point them to on what to look for?
Yes. So we did 3 videos called hazmats and snapbacks. And it was like a crazy, it was me, Tim, and a few other guests that we did we just talked about hats. We talk about it in Hat Camp on the Reseller Information Network. So here's the simple thing. Go on eBay, type in like trucker hats and just see solds, filter from highest to lowest, and just look what's selling. That's
how I do my research videos. Yeah.
Just look what's selling.
So
type in sports hats, just see what's selling, NFL, NHL, MLB, just scroll, and you'll see, and you'll just embed into your brain. Okay, that's what I need. That's what I need. Join Facebook groups. If you want to get into selling hats, join Facebook groups, hat selling, and just watch, just see what people are posting, see what people are selling it for.
Sure enough, why don't you tell them the different terms for hats? Snapback,
So you got trucker hats, you got snapbacks, you got strapbacks, you got dad hats, you got slouch hats, you got beanies. There's 100 different types. So yeah, just kind of figure out. Now, here's the thing. You want to buy them as cheap as you can, okay? I literally try to buy my hats anywhere from 25 cents to $1, okay? If I'm buying in bulk.
that's
You
me
want to
too.
buy in bulk.
Me too.
If you have questions, here's the thing. And I know I'm opening up myself, and I do open myself. If you have questions about hats, or like if you find some hats, hit me up on my Instagram. You know what I'm saying? I might answer, may not. So
Who's ringing?
Sorry.
I don't know. And then Rita wants to know, when you find old hats, do you clean them, or is there ever a time you sell them as is?
okay, and that's something we talked about at hat camp as well. It depends. Time is money. Your time is money. You may have a hat that I can clean that, but if it takes you, an hour to clean and you sell it for $10, it's not worth cleaning. So you want to clean the hats that are going to be more valuable.
Perfect. Sonny has a good question. He wants to know, what is your goal with reselling? How much is your monthly goal that you would like to make?
Yeah, I don't have monthly goals really. I'm just, I'm just trying to grow my overall year-to-year business. I haven't broken it down on a monthly basis. But I just want to, I constantly want to do 10% more than I did the year before. It's just something that I've learned and been in retail a long time. It's good to set those kind of goals for yourself, know how you're going to get there, set a plan for it. And then just make sure you enact upon that plan and follow through with it. If that means you have to list more, if that means you have to source differently, if you have to buy different items, if you have to do more research, something that everyone's been touching on a lot is, in any category, research is key. If you want to be successful, put the time in. The time you put in equals more money coming out at the end. So, for me, I don't have a monthly goal for selling. I just have a year to year. I want to increase by 10%.
Yeah. Mine, I'm a simple person. This is lifestyle. Like, I resell because lifestyle design. I was working in restaurants for 15 years, used and abused. Don't want to do it anymore. So if I pay my bills, put a little extra away, take care of, anything for the kids, I'm happy. That's what I'm happy with. And in my brain, I kind of know where I need to get there. And the things that I'm doing now are the things that are going to get me there. So.
Yeah. So for me, the way I look at it is, if I list $10,000 worth of stuff, my goal is to sell $5,000 worth of stuff. You know what I mean? So somewhere in that ballpark, based on my expenses, based on my fees, based on everything. So my goal is to try to list $15,000 worth of items per month. I'd like to be anywhere from $7,000, $10,000 in eBay sales per month. It has not been like that for the last month or two, last couple months, I would say. So I need to really buckle down, and that's something I'm really focusing on now, since I'm not traveling anymore, really, and I'm just hitting the ground rolling. So after we get off this tonight, I'm actually gonna go list more stuff.
So my goal is I would like to do 42,000 a month. I would like to hit $500,000 in sales. I did over 250,000 last year. We are averaging about 25 to 30,000 between all the platforms. So we're not like horribly far off. If I bring it home in Q4, I might be able to hit my $500,000 goal, which would be absolutely amazing. But eBay's been really slow. But like I said, we picked it up with Whatnot, and we sold I've had some higher dollar. We sold a $3,000 painting this month too. So yeah, I want to make $500,000. That's and that's not profit, guys. That would be about 200,000 in profit. But yeah, so I would like to hit $500,000. That was and still is my goal. Maggie wants to know if we have insurance on inventory in case of a hurricane or any natural disaster, depending on where you're at. Do you have inventory insurance?
I have homeowners insurance, which would cover the things inside my home, and I have a value for what my things are listed at. So if something would happen, I would be able to replace the value, but not the items themselves, because it would be tough to replace everything that we have listed for inventory. But that's because I have a homeowners insurance, which covers everything inside here.
Same with me. They did a little audit. I brought them what my business is and what I do. And so we have a good little plan in place.
So one thing I would just advise a lot of people, just double check your homeowner's insurance policy, because some of them do not cover business expenses. They will. Yep. Mine doesn't either, because I live in Florida down there. Probably because we have the hurricanes down here. So make sure, check your area where you live, because I know some can get covered, some don't. But that also covers, your if you have an outside dwelling as well, let's say if you have a storage unit and stuff like that, it will cover up. Sometimes homeowners insurance will cover up to like 10%. So let's just say if that value of that storage unit is, $200,000, it may cover $20,000 of that. So, but still, I mean, if you're buying stuff at cents on the dollar, it's going to cover your buy cost at least.
Yeah.
I don't want to get hit with a hurricane, but if we do get hit with a hurricane, I just hope it just doesn't touch my eBay listed inventory. It just takes up my entire death pile, because it'd be nice just to start off fresh, but.
Yeah, so I do have insurance on my inventory. I'm insured up to $100,000, which, let me tell you how much I could buy with that money. I am not that much in, so I actually picked a middle number because my listed inventory is valued at $250,000. But I know I could probably replace it with about 30 to 40. So I picked a number in the middle. I'm insured for 100,000, plus they will cover, like, if the trees fall on this in 4 hours from now, they will cover my average sales for the last 3 months and pay me until I am back up and running. So when I made this my full-time job, I had to make sure that if a hurricane comes, then I will be covered. So if my sheds are taken out, I don't think I would make a claim for, like, if the power's out a week. I think that would make my insurance go up for, no reason. But if these are damaged and we're going to be out a month or more, they're going to pay me. So if our average sales have been $20,000, they're going to cut me a check for that. So yeah, and I think I pay about $200 to $250 a month for that reassurance, but I need it because that's how I pay my bills. We don't have another income here. So, Christy said she did a few whatnots. I just want to put this up here. A dollar, she wasn't getting bidders. Guys, even at dollar starts, it's hard. It's really hard. It takes time. It takes effort. It's almost like YouTube, guys. Not everybody's going to make it.
Yeah.
Not everybody's going to get popular. It's social media. You have to have the right personality, the right stuff, and the right people need to find you. So it's not a walk in the park on Whatnot.
I read a thing about YouTube the other day that 90% of the videos on YouTube don't even have 1,000 views.
Yeah.
90%.
Yep.
And YouTube
I think
has
only 1.5% are monetized.
yeah. And I think, and then there's only like 10% of like the US users have 10,000 or more, something along those lines or something. It's just not. So it's a tough.
Yep.
To add best offer, you just will edit it or revise it, D. Smith. You can edit or revise, and then you can just add best offer. Carla, we're so close. We have 5. Let's try and knock these out. Carla wants to know if anybody's ever tried to sell books on the Pango Books app.
Nope. I don't sell books.
I never heard of it before.
Just eBay. Yeah, I don't know what Pango is.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of it either. This is a hot topic, so let's keep it yes or no. Do you use AI to fill out your descriptions on eBay?
No.
No.
Nope.
Yes.
I do not
Sweet.
know what I want to do. So.
Wanda wants to know, how do you get magic marker off items?
Depends on the item, but for a lot of things, I would try first a magic eraser. Those things work wonders on a lot of things. But if it's something where you can, wear color away, I'd be very careful to use it because magic erasers will strip color. Just really depends on the item, though, what you're doing. There's lots of different things you can put magic marker on and lots of different ways to get them out there, get it out of it.
Textiles, I use 97% isopropyl alcohol that you can buy, and you do the dab method. You just load it up with alcohol, dab it, press it, release, and then find a new, and then dab it, press it, release. That's how you get like signatures off of hats, like in Sharpie marker. You just got to press it, release it, press it, release it, press it, release it, and eventually it gets out.
I think he answered that good enough for me.
Yeah, and I use Clorox wipes and Goo Gone on like glass and collectibles, and on porous items like clay and pottery, it's not going to come off. So I just draw a black magic marker square over it, and I've never gotten any complaints on that.
Be careful with Goo Gone.
This one we already answered. The last one is for me. It's $9.59. That is perfect. I will answer this and let the guys tell you what they've got going on coming up. How many platforms do I sell on? What's my favorite? I sell on Whatnot, eBay, Etsy, Mercari, and Poshmark. And my favorite is Whatnot because it's making me the most money.
Yep.
If eBay makes me the most money, eBay will be my favorite. Dalton says yes. So yeah, it's Whatnot. I like hanging out with people too and getting to talk while I'm making money. So it's a little more social when normally I don't have that much interaction, except on Tuesday nights with people. So I like Whatnot the best. All right, I am going to make Chris big, and then I'll make Shernock big, and they can let you know what they've got going on. And then Rod will and myself. So here is Chris.
Hey, well, first off, thanks, Kat. Thanks, Rod, for having me on. This was a blast. I had a lot of fun. It was super awesome to be on this side of it, answering the questions and opposed to being just in the chat. For me, I have my YouTube channel. I put out videos every Thursday and Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. We do yard sales, garage sales, church sales, rummage sales, estate sales, all that kind of fun stuff. A few thrift stores in the winter when there's not stuff around in terms of yard sales, but mainly it's yard selling. And then also, too, I am one of the community moderators for the Trash to Cash resellers Facebook group. Kevin would disown me if I didn't give a plug for that. So if you're not part of that Facebook group, please come join it. We have a lot of fun over there. A lot of good reselling content over there as well, not just all nonsense and hijinks. And that's it. Thank you.
All right, Sir.
All right. All right. So I have a YouTube page, but I don't post anymore. I'm on the Reseller Information Network. You can find it right there. Member of the Reseller Information Network. It's on YouTube. We do Tuesday live shows, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern every Tuesday. You can come hang out. If you're looking for something to do, you can just come hang out with us. Come say hi. Say, hey, I saw you on, Cat Show. Love you guys. It's me, Eric OBX Picker, Tim over the years, and Leroy Blood, Sweat and Cell. We do like I said, we do a Tuesday show from 9 a.m. to noon p.m. Every Tuesday. So it's called Listing and Loafing. You can just come help us ask questions. We have a Reseller Information Network Facebook group, Instagram, so you can go and follow us there. We put up videos every Friday as well. And then also just a little plug. If you're not using Photo Room, use Photo Room. If you haven't had the Pro version yet, you can save 10% by using RIN by going to photoroom.com using the promo code RIN to get 10% off. You're going to love it. AI backgrounds are the future. So that's all I got to say. Yeah.
All right, perfect. Dalton wants to be big and tell you all goodbye. Look at the camera.
I am going to subscribe to you all, but
you're going to subscribe to them all?
Mom need to look up your guys' name first.
Okay. Tell them have a good night.
And have a good night.
All right. Hold on. Let me make myself unbig here. All right, Rod, what is going on with you?
Guys, any questions we don't get to tonight or anything you guys think of after the show, hit me up on Facebook or on Instagram at Pickin' and Punchin'. I will answer all your questions. Also, too, I dropped a brand new video today. I found $800 worth of items at one garage sale, so check it out. Bought a huge collection of blow modes, bought a bunch of other surprises at the end there, so go check that out. And then tomorrow, I'm doing my huge vintage Disney show on Whatnot. If you guys have seen my videos, I've been doing it. I bought out a storage unit that had 17 totes of Disney items that had sitting in storage for over 25 years untouched. And we're starting everything between $2 and $4. There's 75 items up there right now. Show starts at 7:30 tomorrow night. Come on. I will promote you on the show. If you guys have a Whatnot you guys want to promote, and we're going to have a good time. I'm going to give away a bunch of free things. I did a free show. I gave away like 20-something items 2 weeks ago, and I'll give away a bunch tomorrow. So come see me, and maybe we'll raid Cat after. So we'll have a nice little party going. If the hurricane allows it, I'm going to do it in the hurricane. I don't care. And, we'll see what happens.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm hoping to be live tomorrow night at 8:30 on Whatnot with silver-plated gemstone jewelry, Thursday vintage and estate, and Friday some scarves. I've been changing it up a little. I feel like you guys are a little over the jewelry, so we've been throwing some linens in there for you as well. So if I have power or Aunt Roberta and Aunt Louise have power, we will be there. And if not, yeah, I don't know what's going on. I think we might lose power. I don't know if I'll have a video out Thursday because of that. We are going to do our best to stay safe, but I'll post on Instagram an update and let everybody know how we're doing. I promise. Next week, we are going to have Aaron Rebel Junk, and I flipped that on with us. So that is super exciting. Make sure you guys come every Tuesday, 8. And thank you to Chris and Chernock for coming on, and Rod for continuing to come back. If you are in Florida like we are, please stay safe. Georgia, the Carolinas. Carrie, listen here, buddy. Are you late? All right, guys. We appreciate you guys. We will see you somewhere. Bye for now.